Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Hello, I'm Noel Ramos, and this is the IndieBlogg for Stardate 0704.01. As always, coming to you live from the bridge of the USS IndieGate. We're currently in orbit around an M-class planet that produces some of the finest independent musicians in the known universe. This month's IndieBlogg will spawn many supplementals, each of which will feature an interview with one of these talented musicians. We'll be speaking to people such as Ben Godwin, Witches in Bikinis, Charlie Phillips, and Lynn Carey Saylor. I also get to brag about my brand new Starfleet issued IMC Com badge, because I won't be the only one doing these interviews this month. For this month's IndieBlogg, we'll be joined by my second-in-command, the first officer of the USS IndieGate, as well as the chief engineer, Seth Adam. So let's see if we can raise him on the comm.
Hey Noel, hey everybody, this is Seth, and this month we're going to be featuring an interview with Lynn Carey Saylor, indie artist extraordinaire, and we're going to have a fun time talking with her. She's got a new album out called You Like It Clean, and we're also going to feature some other interviews with Charlie Phillips and Witches in Bikinis, but we're going to start with Lynn Carey Saylor.
Hey, thanks Seth. And keep in mind everybody, Seth is our chief engineer. So if you need anything tweaked on your IndieGate pages, or you need your warp coil realigned, or your polarity reversed, or if you just need a price change or a photo upload, please email Seth and he'll be sure and help you out. Put his email address right here on the screen for you. That's seth@intermix.com. So make sure you check that out, write that down, and email him if you need any assistance.
It's time for cool stuff.
The first interview we're going to do for this month's IndieBlogg is one that I did with Ben Godwin. We were proud to attend his CD release party in New York. It was also a fundraiser for Lifebeat. So just a second, we'll be talking to Ben Godwin. But first, a word from our sponsor. Well, the Independent Music Conference is different from other events in that it's geared towards independent musicians who are looking to market their own product directly to their consumer. So there's a strong focus on the educational aspect, the networking, the learning, the support, and there's less of a focus on the performance side of the event, which is mainly the element of other conferences. They stress the performance, they don't work as hard on the educational agenda. It is a music conference in the truest sense of the word conference. And in the music industry, that word has come to mean other things. And largely the other conferences have become performances. They're just big festivals, and it's all about the shows. I believe a conference should really be an industry gathering to learn and to network. So we're trying to get back to the root of the true meaning of that word with this event and turn it into a learning, networking, educational event. So I'm here on deck 43 of the IndieGate, and many of you know the IndieGate is a Wells-class starship, which means that it has time-slip capability, and essentially we can slide right between the layers of the space-time continuum and essentially travel through time. One of the best things I like about coming back to this particular time period on your planet is the what we call in the future the independent music revolution. Spawns so many talented artists and so much incredible music that we come back here time and time again to enjoy and to research. One of the things we like to do is interview some of these talented musicians, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing this month in the IndieBlogg supplementals, beginning with Ben Godwin. So Ben, we're now engaging interview mode. My first question for you is, why does my universal translator make you sound British? What planet are you from anyway?
Well, I am actually from planet Britain. If it sounds weird, maybe my crappy laptop isn't interfacing properly with your starship. On the other hand, it could be the suspicion way, I think. Better? Worse? Same? Never mind. Let's just move on.
Thanks for disengaging the Babelfish, Ben. Now my onboard systems are having a much easier time translating your visual transmission. You're from Planet Britain, but you're now living in New York City, and I just want to know if I can't remember my history properly. Is New York City still a penal colony? Wait a minute. That wasn't until the 22nd century. So, what is life like for an independent musician from the faraway planet of Britain, now living and working in New York City?
Well, actually, I think it is a penal colony, but they haven't made the announcement yet. So right now, nobody actually knows whether they're an inmate or a guard, and as you can imagine, that's confusing. But for a musician, it's a good place to be. I mean, I'm having a really good time.
Well, Ben, that's important information. I'll be sure and alert our historians at Memory Alpha so they can update their database regarding New York's status as a correctional facility during your time period. Oh, I'm sorry, Ben, but that's a red alert. I'm going to have to go. Well, fortunately, it's just a minor fluctuation in the subharmonic frequencies of the warp coil. And luckily, I have my Sennheiser EW100 subharmonic modulator. Now, I know that Sennheiser was very famous in your time frame for manufacturing low-cost, high-quality microphones that became the favorite of independent musicians all over the world. But by the 28th century, they'd also become the leading manufacturer of diagnostic devices and subharmonic modulators for the warped field industry. So, just a quick little adjustment with this handy device and we should be up and running again in no time. Just give me a second. Okay, good as new. Now I have a question regarding the music from an inspirational standpoint. Where does your music come from? And more importantly, has it changed since you moved to New York City?
I don't know if I can tell you where it comes from. I mean, I don't know if any songwriter actually knows. I can tell you what goes into it. You know, it's one part impending doom, one part transcendent joy, and just a dash, just a dash of Tabasco sauce. And yet, New York definitely has changed it. My stuff's got a lot more visual since I came here, and a lot more kind of visceral and raw, a lot angry.
Well, those are some ingredients, Ben. I hope that soon you're able to decrease the quantity of impending doom that is necessary for your music. I do envy you the Tabasco sauce, though. I mean, ever since the 29th century began, Tabasco sauce became a sentient being, and it colonized a demon-class planet in the Delta Quadrant, so we can no longer enjoy Tabasco sauce without violating the Prime Directive. Well, another question I have for you is any future plans you have for your music. What's coming up for you?
Well, there's lots going on. I'm going to tour the US, going to play these songs anywhere and everywhere I can. I'm going to go play the UK in July, I'm going to do some gigs in Europe. There's a video for Skin and Bone coming out soon, and I know there'll be a second album, but I haven't written it yet, so I don't know what it'll be. But that's part of the fun, you know? It's part of the fun of this kind of life. Stuff unfolds, and you get to be there and see it all happening.
You mentioned unfolding, Ben, and maybe we should backtrack a little bit. And since going back in time is one of my specialties, I don't have a problem with that right now. So let's backtrack just a little bit and tell us how you came to this place in your career. What got you started? Where were you? Just briefly tell us a little bit about your history that led up to this CD release party taking place at Club Midway for your new album.
Well, it's been a pretty long, strange trip. I mean, you know, I started up in Glasgow in the early 90s playing, you know, really heavy music, you know, inspired by Soundgarden and Alice in Chains and bands like that. I went through an acoustic thing. I've put out EPs, you know, lots and lots of things over the years, but it never really came together like an album. And so now, you know, that's where I am, debut album after all this time, and it really feels like a good place to be. I also think it's a spectacularly good time to be independent.
Now here's a topic that I'd like to address very seriously because you're involved with a charity organization known as LifeBeat, which has to do with raising awareness about HIV. So I'd like to know a little bit more about how you came to be involved with LifeBeat and what your involvement is. So could you detail that for us?
When I came to New York, I was reinventing my life, and I knew I didn't want to work crappy day jobs anymore. Right? All musicians do that, right? But I didn't want to do that. So I went looking for a job with a non-profit. I wanted to find somewhere where I could make a difference, and I found LifeBeat. And what LifeBeat does is we mobilize the power of the music industry to fight HIV in America. We do outreach and prevention at concerts. We reach people that way. And we also serve people who already have the virus by bringing live music to them in the hospitals that they're living in. Now, at this point, like 1 in 70 New Yorkers have the virus. It's crazy. It just doesn't make any sense. This is a first world country. It's supposed to have the best medical care in the world. Yet 1 in 70 New Yorkers has HIV. It doesn't make any sense. So, I decided I was going to give $1 off every copy of the record to LifeBeat. And my intention is that when I'm successful enough to quit my day job, which is every musician's dream, even mine, there'll be a replacement. Simple as that.
Thanks, Ben. I'm definitely going to be beaming down for your show. Just do me a favor and clear the area near the stage until I get down there so I don't materialize inside of one of your amps, okay? Let's go to the main view monitors now and check out bengodwin.com, where we can find out a little bit more about your show at Club Midway. As it says on your website, April 10th at 7 p.m., Club Midway, 25 Avenue B, New York, New York. Suggested donation is only $10. And as mentioned, proceeds will be going to LifeBeat to help fight AIDS in America. So Ben, it's been a great pleasure talking to you on the IndieBlogg Supplemental. Thanks again, and we will see you at the show.
Ben Godwin's new CD, Skin and Bone, available at indiegate.com/Ben Godwin. $12, $1 of which goes to LifeBeat. Digital singles also available, only 99 cents. indiegate.com/Ben Godwin.